Hey, it's the Keyboard Warrior here, and we are back with another Tekken video. New patch is out, patch 1.07, and we have a new tier list. Before starting off with the tier list, just a reminder that tier lists are not something that everyone agrees on. It's very normal to have a different opinion. This is my tier list and how I feel the characters should be placed. If you feel differently, go ahead, use the comment section. We can definitely have a mature discussion over there. Try not to be toxic, right? Next thing is that tier list does not really define your skill level, because skill beats tier list anytime, right? If you're good with the character, you will be able to go ahead and do well. Doesn't matter if the character is top tier or bottom tier. If you're comfortable playing with the character, that's it, right? Take for instance Rankshu. He plays with the Bears. The Bears are nowhere near top tier. He does well consistently in every tournament. So it depends a lot on the user. And also Tekken 8 at the moment is kind of balanced, apart from a few characters, Dragunov, Feng, King, and Nina, all the S tiers. Keeping all that in mind, let's get going. Alright, I'll try to keep the explanation short so that you don't have to sit and listen to me talk about characters for like 30 minutes. Alright, so the first one would be Jack, and I would place him in the mid tier because he's one of those characters that got a lot of buffs from this patch, right? And they kind of improved the character, and he's also doing well in tournaments. So great low pokes, great forward and backward movement, and his down forward 4 counter hit now has more follow-ups. So yeah, he's kind of good now, right? Jin is still S tier, no doubt about it. This character is absolutely broken, to be honest. Right, he has an answer to everything. He has perhaps the best hit smash in the game, and his overall pressure is just insane. All right. Next up, June. I would place her in the mid tier for now. I might change her later on, but for now, I would place her in the mid tier. She was really good before, but she's got nerfed after that, and now she's average. All right. Kazuya is A tier. Because of his new buffs, of course, in the last patch, we all were happy that they buffed Kazuya because he's one of the main characters, and now he is a 50-50 monster. We also saw how Kisuke performs with him in the tournaments, and that really tells us how strong Kazuya can be, right? He's no joke at the moment. Might be difficult to play, but he's no joke. King, obviously one of the broken characters in the game. Throws are broken, we all know that. Even though you know how to break throws, you won't be able to do it online because of the delay and stuff. I see pro players getting thrown so often, right? Team players might be like, you just need to learn your throw breaks. Yeah, we know how to break throws, right? But it's just the window. The window is so small, it's not possible to react so quickly at times, all right? Not every time. You can react, obviously you can break throws, but there at times you cannot, and there's nothing you can do about it. And King is cheap, right? I don't know what you King mains have to say, but King is cheap. Then we have Lars. Lars, I would say, is mid-tier. Mid-tier at best. Great pressure, but if you lab this character, you would know exactly when the gaps are, so you can poke him. One of the reasons why we don't see him perform well in tournaments. He's strong, but he's just not that strong, you know? So next up, Law. We saw double winning a tournament. Law is super good in this game. Probably not S tier, but he's definitely very strong. DSS being easier made this character extremely strong. Right now, you can just do DSS. You can spam DSS all day. His friend Paul is C tier, I believe. Not impressive. Even though he got buffs, the buffs gave him insane amount of damage. But to be honest, I really expected Paul to be better in this game. He's just way too straightforward. If someone tells you Paul is cheap, he's probably lying to you, doesn't know about the character. He's one of the most honest characters at high level, alright? And he's just so straightforward that people really know what he's gonna do. I don't think Paul is that impressive in this game. Nina is perhaps the best character at the moment, alright? There's no doubt about it. Insane pressure. There is no answer to her pressure, literally. You just need to respect the character, that's it. Super pressure, super mix-ups, full game, you ask for it. Nina's got it. Then we have Shayu. Shayu used to be S tier, but people are figuring her out. And now I would probably keep her in A tier. Probably before Kazuya, because she is a little brain dead, to be honest. But it's not that she's easy to play, but just a little brain dead. Her mix-ups are pretty insane, right? Her butterfly stance still goes under mid, so that's a problem. Asuka, I would say C tier. Even after the buffs, she is not so good. Because of her pick rate, she can always check people, but I don't think Asuka is really that strong anymore. She was weak to begin with, and even after the buffs, I don't see her making her way to the higher tiers. Leroy, again, has received a lot of buffs, extremely high chip damage, but there's something off with the character. His range is really low, which hurts the character a lot at neutral. You just need to close down the gap really soon when you're playing Leroy. Overall, still yet to see Leroy do something really good in tournaments, and overall, I don't really think he's that strong. Uh, Lili, yeah, she's gonna go A tier, high A tier. She's strong, very good at neutral, and she's got the range, she's got damage, she's got mix-ups, she's got pressure. Um, Perhaps the best sidestep in the game. Not as good as this guy's up here, but she's definitely super strong. Horang got a little buffed. Now he can pressure you even more, so I'm gonna place Horang in the mid tier. This character is super linear. You know, if Horang was not that linear, perhaps he would have been A tier, but he's so linear and so weak to sidesteps that this character fails to perform in tournaments. Like, I'm yet to see a Horang do well in tournament. Kvis, top 8, yeah, I know. But then his Kvis, he's a great Tekken player overall, right? We need to give users credit over here, right? We've seen Edge play tournaments, but he didn't do that well. So Horang, yet to see him do well in the tournaments, right? Overall, if you ask me, Horang has a lot of weaknesses, which the higher level players can exploit. Claudio. Alright, so Claudio would be A tier. We've seen him perform consistently well in tournaments. Some of his tools are extremely good, like his back one, like his Superman punch does insane amount of damage even though it's high. His mix-ups, great. Great at neutral, great mix-ups, good hop kick. What else do you want? Alright. Then we have Azusena. I would place her in the C tier. She's not that good anymore. She is very predictable. She used to be super strong when her running 3-2 wasn't nerfed, but after that, she's just gone downhill. Raven, perhaps the worst character in the game. This character needs a rework. I don't know if some of the I've seen Pina play this guy, but he did well. But then again, he's a good Tekken player. But overall, if you ask me, Raven, I don't think he's as strong as these guys over here. He's one of the weakest characters in the roster at the moment. Dragunov, well, you all know, perhaps the best character in the game at the moment, along with Nina. His pressure is unreal, pretty much broken, super broken character. I said this before. People were like, "No, Dragunov is mid tier right now after his running 2 nerf and all that." I literally said that he's still S tier and he's broken, and we have seen how well Dragunov is performing in tournaments. He's winning tournaments, right? And that's the highest level of play. So Dragunov, broken character, needs a nerf. Kuma, I'm gonna put Kuma in the C tier. I think Kuma is better than Asuka. Alright, so Kuma is good, very good in heat mode. Alright, only thing with the bears is that they knowledge check people, right? Online, not in the tournaments though. The tournaments you need to be very careful, but online they knowledge check people because of their pick rate. So, but overall, if you ask me, Kuma is not that strong. Leo is obviously gonna go C tier because, again, the problem with the character is that way too linear, very weak to sidesteps, and we know how often you get sidestepped at higher levels. We're not talking about lower levels where people just play linear game. No, when you reach a certain level, people will sidestep everything, right? They will duck, they'll sidestep. That is exactly when fundamentals come into play. I don't really think Leo is that strong at the moment. Shaheen, of course, easily one of the best characters, perhaps top 10. We have seen how consistently Shaheen performs in tournaments, and we've seen how AK uses this character. Of course, AK is a good Tekken player again, but then Shaheen is really, really strong, right? Overall, I would say Shaheen is A tier. Steve is an interesting pick this time. After all the buffs and everything, and people getting used to his new stance moves and stuff, so I would say Steve is performing well, and I would place him in the B tier. Yeah, he's no longer the worst character in the game. People used to be like Steve and Zafina the worst characters, but right now, Steve is definitely not the worst. Great counter hit game, great evasion. This character has damage, so yeah, he's there. He's there, strong. Yoshi has got a minor buff in this patch, and I don't know why, but that would still make him one of the strongest characters in the game. Uh, some might argue that Yoshi is perhaps S tier, but I don't really think so. The reason is his move list. The move list is so long that users often get overwhelmed with how many things you can do in a match, right? He's got like infinite number of flowcharts, so many setups, and very, very strong character. Feng is, again, I would say he's S tier. Okay, people might say he's A, but if you find a good Feng player, you would find it difficult to win. All right, he has got great poking, great poking in this game, and we've also saw Kokoma win a tournament. Feng is super strong. There is no doubt. Panda is probably one of the worst in the game. We compare Kuma and Panda, they're basically the same, but Kuma is just a little better in heat mode, and that makes a lot of difference, right? Alisa, again, one of the most brain dead characters in the game. All the monkey stuff that you do is super effective, and she's built for this game, alright? She's built for Tekken 8. She's aggressive. When a chainsaw comes out, you have no option but to respect. So overall, if you ask me, Alisa is S tier. Devil Gene is C tier, I guess. Yeah. There's nothing going for this guy, you know. They nerfed him, and they nerfed him to the ground. They nerfed his heat, they nerfed his basic moves, and overall, he's not that strong anymore. He's no longer a threat, alright? If I play a Devil Gene, I'm only worried about his 50-50, and that's it. There's nothing else I need to worry about. Then we have Lee, and Lee I would say is mid tier. Okay. Lee is an extremely strong character, but the only thing that he lacks is his pressure tools, right? You have to be really good. He's one of the hardest characters to play, right? And his counter hit game is really good, though. If Lee is used by someone who's really good at the game and can use this character to his full potential, this character might go up to A tier, or maybe even S, but there's a difficulty barrier that always keeps this character at mid tiers. Zafina is strong. I would say she's mid tier. She's a little better than Lee, perhaps, but after all her buffs, she has definitely made her way up to the mid tier. She was one of the worst characters in the game before, but not anymore. This character, Victor, however, he's got nerfed, and he's got nerfed hard. I don't really find him good anymore. Very unsafe, and his running 2 being nerfed is also something that really hurt the character, but he is one of the easiest characters, which might make him go up to B tier, but overall, if you ask me, I don't think he's that strong. He used to be A tier, but I don't think he's that strong anymore. Bryan, I would say Bryan is again mid tier. Yeah. Okay. So there's this insane amount of difficulty playing this character, one of the hardest characters again, and if you want to play this character to his full potential, you need to overcome that barrier, that difficulty barrier, that execution barrier, right? Because Bryan is extremely hard to play, and if you can master this character, he might go up to A tier, but there's a difficulty barrier all the time. And I also feel that he lacks a little bit of something that, you know, which prevents users from doing well in tournaments. Like we see Knee. Times I feel that if Knee had used someone like King or Jean or someone like that, he would have done well in tournaments. So yeah. Reina. Reina, I would say high A tier. The only problem with this character is that she does not have a decent low, but her unbreakable throw makes up for that. Now there's this weird glitch or something that lets her get behind you all the time when you get up, and she can obviously do an unbreakable throw from behind. So I think that would be fixed. If you count that out, she's probably A tier right now. Eddy, I feel, is doing well in tournaments. Of course, it's Ding, and we have also seen Tekken Master do well with Eddy in the recent tournament. And overall, he's great at neutral. And to be honest, I've seen some of the best Eddy players out there, and they can really put pressure on the opponent. I personally feel that the pressure is fake, and there is a way you can poke Eddy. All right. Now at higher levels, at tournament level, people tend to respect. They tend to respect just so that they don't get counter hit. All right. So if you respect Eddy too much, you won't be winning the round. That's the problem. You have to poke him, you have to sidewalk him. If you respect him too much, there's little to no chance for you to win. Then we have Lydia. Now, yeah, Lydia, I would say, is C tier because even though she has great pressure from her stance, but most of her moves are forced into stance, and that could be unsafe if you don't hold back. If you hold back, is safe, but there are times when you get punished, right? So I would say Lydia is extremely unsafe, extremely linear. Her sidestepping is also not that good. But she's a monster in heat mode. Lydia is a monster in heat mode. I would face anyone but Lydia in heat mode. It's me. But her fundamentals, her basic toolkit is so bad that I cannot really put her up in the tier list. That's the reason why I'm putting her in the C tier. Right, so let's just adjust the tier list so that we can get a final draft. Right, so yeah. And well, I guess let me see. Well, I guess this is it. This is the tier list. Well, so there you go. This is the Tekken 8 tier list post 1.07 patch. And for the month of September. If this video was helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel and looking for Tekken 8 content and guides and replays, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.